Hello everybody and welcome to Clash of the Correspondents, the weekly show from Planet FPL where James and I bring on two correspondents to discuss a match that is happening this coming weekend. James, introduce our guests.
Well, before we do, you have to state that it's Monday.
It is. We are recording early.
It's about 7:30 p.m. Apologies, because Spurs are playing the Champions League Tuesday and Wednesday couldn't work for us. So we are going a bit early. And one of the reasons we have to go a bit early and announce that we're going early is because news is potentially imminent at any time at Everton. We are joined tonight by Anup at Foxy FPL, our Leicester correspondent. How are you, Anup?
I'm very good. How are you guys? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no good. Worries, thank you, mate. And we are joined by Sean at Spirit_Blues, our Everton correspondent. Sean, I'd say this with a little bit of fear. How are you?
I am fantastic, James. never been better.
Right. You got to just take it in your stride, right? I mean, both Everton and West Ham are in very similar boats at the moment, playing badly, managers ready right for sacking.
Yeah. The boat's got a big fucking hole in it.
Yeah, it has. It really has. It's only a matter of 4 weeks ago that we came to your place and you really did a number on us and turned us over quite comfortably. And on the day, I would say that the large part of the reason why you beat us was just work rate. The sheer intensity of the team, we couldn't match it. I think Davis and Gomez in the middle of the park were just outrunning us. Richarlison was bullying the back four, but it was sheer will to want to win that game. What's happened since then? Is the effort not there, or is it just quality on the ball? Or?
Well, Marco's decided that seeing as how that worked so well against West Ham, that basically we would never do it again, and completely changed. I mean, I was going to say completely changed the starting 11. Obviously, some of that has come as a result of injuries. Obviously, the key one to Gomez. But all of a sudden, we've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who starts scoring goals, gets some confidence, goes on a run, and then he's nowhere to be seen. He's ripped out the team. Iwobi was fantastic against West Ham in the midfield with Davis and Gomez alongside him playing. We played more of a 4-3-3, and we cut out the tippy-tappy side-to-side football, obsession with crossing it, and we started playing through the lines, getting the ball centrally a lot quicker, and we were fantastic. We went to Brighton. We weren't as good as we were against West Ham, admittedly, but we got ourselves ahead. We were in a winning position, and then of course, you know, there was the penalty decision that was given to Brighton. We go on to lose the game in typical Marco Silva Everton fashion, just capitulate. And he's just ripped up everything that was good and was working, and put Tosin back in the team, put Sigurdsson back in the team, and they literally had done nothing to justify getting their starting place back. It's so disappointing to see, and that culminated in the performance against Norwich City, which was one of the worst performances that I've seen from an Everton side for a while.
Sean, if I look at this in isolation, obviously you played well against West Ham. You were really unlucky at Brighton in game week 10. You had the game against us in game week 11, which ended up in obviously very difficult circumstances, but you certainly didn't deserve to draw the game on the day. You went to Southampton and got an away win. We know winning away from home has been difficult for you for a long period, long before Marco Silva, going back to previous managers. Is there a case then that Saturday against Norwich was I'm careful how I say this, a one-off considering the previous four performances?
Well, you'd like to think it is, and the problem that I think most of us have is, like I say, there doesn't seem to be. He doesn't seem to know his best team, and can you hear me now?
I think we lost you there, Sean, for a second.
All right, okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear him.
Yeah, we can't hear what you're saying, Sean. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Odd. I don't know if it's the microphone.
I can hear Sean.
Can you hear Sean? Is that?
Yeah.
You can.
Can't hear him either.
Yeah.
Sus.
What is that about?
You can't hear me either.
That is really bizarre. Can one of you count to 10?
Is it this?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Got you.
Fucking idiot.
What was your question to Sean?
Sean, sorry, I'm going to ask you that question.
No, it's okay.
Go.
Sean, if you can just go from your response again, if you can, mate. Sorry.
Yeah, so we'd like to think it was a one-off against Norwich. I think the problem we have is we don't know from one game to the next what team Marco Silva is going to pick. And when the team was announced, I think I put on Twitter, Tosin, Sigurdsson, Everslow.
Yeah.
We know Schneidlin's got to play because Delph was out injured. We haven't got Gbamin either because he's out injured. So realistically, Schneidlin's got to play, and we know Marco's already. We've seen it. If you put Sigurdsson and Schneidlin in the same midfield, it just doesn't work. There's just no pace. So whoever's in there with them, they've got to carry the whole midfield, and on Saturday it was Tom Davis. So then Tom, you can clearly, he's a young lad, he's got back in the team, he's under massive pressure then to carry all the weight of the side creativity wise. Sigurdsson puts himself far too far forward. He was almost like a second striker, and there's just a massive gap between the midfield and the forwards. And Norwich, it doesn't take a genius to work out that Norwich were not going to come to Goodison and put everybody behind the ball. They were going to come and they were going to have a go. But they just grew into confidence as the game wore on, because Tosin and Sigurdsson just couldn't. They haven't got the pace to close them down, put them under pressure. And Norwich was probably the second best performance I've seen from an away side at Goodison this season. They looked like they were in the top six, not bottom of the league.
Let's bring Anup in. We're going to flip from one mood to another here, mate. The last time we spoke was just before the win at Southampton. Can you, in the first instance, can you describe your emotions that night during the 9-0?
Yeah, absolutely crazy. So I was in a restaurant, sort of. I planned to obviously go to like a sports lounge and watch the game there while I was eating and stuff. I think I missed a lot of the goals. I was too busy looking at my food, too busy ordering and eat the food, and it was crazy. Obviously, very very happy. Things have come a long way, I think, since then, and
Do you believe, because we spoke about it on the main show this week, where I said the thing with captaining Vardy, which I think I'm going to set and forget for the next 4 weeks, is that Leicester have a certain level of ruthlessness in the way they're approaching games right now, which is we are going to win and we're going to score as many goals as we can, whereas some other teams that like the West Hams, Evertons, Arsenals can blow hot or cold quite often. Leicester just seem to want to destroy the opposition. Do you believe you can win the league?
I remember speaking to you when you asked me last time. I said I think we were second, and I was like, I would have settled for about 6. Now I definitely want second. I think it would be very difficult to knock off Liverpool. As much as I would obviously love to win the league again. We have to be realistic. I think this Liverpool team is very good. And how many points clear are they again?
Probably 8 now, isn't it? It was 8 before the weekend.
Enough.
So, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough ask, but yeah, I would love us to. Yeah.
I'm interested though. So you seriously think you can finish above City? And I don't mean that disparagingly when I say that. You have some confidence in that. Yeah,
definitely. Because as you guys said last time, our fixtures are decent until the end of the season. Apart from Man City and Liverpool back to back. Apart from that, definitely. Especially like the next few, we've got some nice home games and stuff. But even after that, definitely. I don't see why we can't finish second now.
You own Anup, C.O.T.C, Tielemans, and obviously Jamie Vardy.
Yeah.
Do you believe they're the right 3 Leicester players to be owning?
C.O.T.C definitely. I got him a little while ago, especially when his value was even better. It's still good, so still not too late to hop onto him. Again with Vardy, I got him quite a long time ago. Same thing. Exceptional value then, still good value now. Tielemans, he didn't do so much last game in terms of even like chances and shots, and he dropped a little bit deeper as I would have liked, but I'm still happy to hold him. So you own Maddison, is that right?
I'm a Maddison owner, but I bought him very early, 7 million. So
okay, yeah,
I had him pretty much the whole season, most of the
season. Yeah, he's a very good shout as well, I think. So yeah, I'm very happy to own those 3.
Yeah, I just when James even asked the question, are they the right 3? I'm like, when we spoke about it on shows previously, it's like any 9 out of the 11 any 3 out of those 9 are the right 3. I don't think there's any case of any 3 being any better than any others.
If you've bought these guys and you've got value on them, obviously you're going to hold what you've got. That's unquestionable. Sean, if I can bring you in a little bit on Leicester as a neutral here, how good do you think they are at the moment? Leicester,
when we done the predictions for where teams were going to finish at the start of the season, I had, I sort of had a feeling that Leicester were going to do really well, because I really rate Brendan Rodgers as a manager. I've had a few arguments on Twitter over the months about how good he is, because he seemed to be a point of people just used to take the mickey out of him, which I didn't quite understand. But I put Leicester down as 6th. I did feel that they could potentially push the top 4. I mean, what they're doing is just fantastic, and they can absolutely keep that going. I don't think they're going to win the league. Liverpool are going to have to do something insane to not end up as champions, but I certainly think that they could potentially finish as high as 2nd.
They're ruining it for other clubs. We talked about, right, when you've got clubs that are looking to break into the top 6, like your Evertons and West Hams and those kind of clubs, when you see what Leicester are doing, it's a blueprint for success for what we want to achieve as well, and are proving that it can be done.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they definitely show. You get the right manager with a game plan and a way of playing that suits the squad of players that he's got. You can do well in the Premier League. Liverpool, Klopp's done a similar thing, albeit he's had far more money to spend than what Leicester have spent, and most other teams, with the exception of Man City. But it only took him three seasons to get Liverpool to the point where they're one of the best Premier League teams that there's ever been. I mean, it's quite likely that they won't lose a game all season. I don't think they will. I think they'll go unbeaten.
I mean, they definitely have a chance of going the season unbeaten, but it's been shown, even with like the City team from a couple of years ago that were that good. Eventually, like, going a season unbeaten takes a bit of luck as well as ruthlessness.
Yeah.
And the Arsenal that went invincible had that luck as well.
Yeah, they seem to. I think they've copyrighted luck, to be honest.
Like last minute goals and stuff.
Copyrighted luck. They brought VAR.
The talk, Sean, at the moment is very much around Silva out, and then Moyes is being lined up to come back in. Thoughts on David Moyes?
Yeah, no.
You can see it in your face. It's like,
no.
It could be worse choices made, but it does feel like a step backwards, maybe.
Yeah, it's a typical. This is just one of the typical gripes I have about our board, and I'm not sure how much truth there is in it. I tweeted sort of after the game on Saturday. It's a lazy link. It's an easy link to make. How much actual truth there is in it, I'm not too sure. Since Saturday, we've been linked with everyone from Benitez to Arteta to Eddie Howe, Sean Dyche.
Pochettino.
Yeah. If only. That'd be nice.
Sure, and I don't want to touch on it too much, because it could be that in 3 days this is very dated.
That's true.
But I think that the person that you amongst that list of people you mentioned, one of them's in there is the one that would probably be your choice, and that's quite controversial. Would that be fair?
Yeah, just about. Yeah.
Are you going to say his name?
Rafa Benitez. I think to me it's a no-brainer. I honestly think one of the gripes that we've had is when you look at the managers that we've appointed in the last sort of 4 or 5 seasons, they haven't had the pedigree that Everton fans would expect from. You look at Tottenham, where the job that Pochettino's done at Tottenham was David Moyes-like, but to the next level. So he actually did get them in the Champions League season in, season out, and do well in the Champions League, to the point where obviously you guys got the final. And then Spurs are now at another level. They've got the stadium, and they can go and get somebody like Mourinho, and nobody laughs.
I did.
And well, whereas now we say we say Mourinho because we were several Evertonians wanted Mourinho weeks ago, and now we talk about Pochettino and sort of other people will laugh. Well, when you go back to when Moyes left the club, we were in a similar-ish position in that we were knocking on the door, and that's where we should have gone out. We should have got somebody that had a higher calibre than Roberto Martinez, who, yes, he won the FA Cup, but when he won the FA Cup, they didn't beat many big teams to win the FA Cup. Man City weren't the Man City of now, and it was the epitome of a smaller club that wins the cup. Anyone can win a cup game on any given day. They caught City cold.
They beat West Ham
and they won.
Sean.
I'll take it back.
No, I don't know if they did. I just thought it'd be funny to say that. On a serious, Sean, obviously, like I said, we don't want to date this too much. How worried are you about this fixture schedule, though?
Well, I'm not worried because I just you look at it, don't you, and you go, well, how many points are we going to pick up? Well, the way we're currently playing, I don't see us picking up many points at all. Leicester away for anybody in the league is a tough game, so no one's going to go there thinking they're going to get 3 points. Same with Liverpool. So for Marco Silva or whoever else comes in, they're almost free hits. You write them off. You accept you're going to get beat. You hope you don't get battered, and you move on to the next games. I think Chelsea will obviously be tough, but as long as we don't play like we did against Norwich, we can give anybody a game of football at home. And if anybody thinks it's going to be easy coming to Goodison, well, it really is for anybody. Liverpool found out that out last season when he come to Goodison.
Those next 5 fixtures, Sean, am I right in saying? I mean, it's Leicester away, Liverpool away, Chelsea at home, Man United away, Arsenal at home. 9 points in those 5 games last season.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get 9 this time.
And a ridiculously unlucky late losing of a point at Liverpool as well. Is that not the game that's going to end Liverpool's run next Wednesday night? No.
I'd love to say but it's more likely to end Marco Silva's reign as Everton manager, I think.
I feel unfortunately, probably to some, whatever, obviously by the time this goes out on Thursday, we don't really know where we stand as such, but I think Marco Silva's probably at the point where it's in the emotion for Evertonians, there's probably no turning back. I wouldn't have thought. It's not going to turn around.
Yeah, spot on.
What do you think on Leicester assets yourself, Sean? Because you've got Siyunku and Vardy. Are you tempted to add a third?
I am tempted. Schmeichel, because for some reason I've got Arsenal's goalkeeper. I don't know why. So I need to move him on pretty quickly. So Schmeichel, yeah.
Okay.
It's not a bad shout, Schmeichel, as well. I mean, they've 6 clean sheets so far this season.
I don't know if it's the right time to get rid of Leno, but this isn't the podcast for that. No. With Norwich away at the weekend. Anup, what do you think of double Leicester defensive? Because there's been a lot of talk in the community, people saying, why go TAA and Robbo when you can have Pereira and Chilwell, and obviously those two have outscored the 2 bigger Liverpool big hitters. Is that a move you've considered making? I guess probably not, having got the Tielemans as well, but what would you advise to people thinking double defensive Leicester after 4 clean sheets in a row?
I'm not a big fan of doubling on defense on any teams, to be honest. That's just sort of my personal strategy. So with Leicester, wouldn't really recommend it. One of my friends, he had like Chilwell and Siyunku, and then he got rid of Chilwell. I think he got 2 bonus points as well at the weekend. So I mean, in that case, I would have definitely kept him. I think Chilwell's not actually a bad shout, because he seems to sort of be on that. Sometimes he goes on these runs, like literal runs, where he's just running all the time and doing the assists and maybe goals and stuff. So maybe he's not a bad shout, but I wouldn't really get anyone else apart from Siyunku. Maybe Chilwell.
Is there any one of the things I like about Maddison is there are games where literally every corner and every free kick and everything, he's picking up the ball and he's taking every set piece. But as James pointed out this week as well, Chilwell was on quite a few. Is there any pattern to it where Chilwell does get certain set pieces, or just happens to be who the opposition is? Because I've got one eye on Chilwell. I think James made a really good move a couple of weeks ago, getting Ben Chilwell in.
Yeah, well, I personally think it's because I watched a bit of like the England matches, and Chilwell took quite a few. I think he even assisted one of the goals of assist. Yeah. But from the he got 3 assists definitely in the first game, but I think one from the corner. So what I'm trying to say is he took a lot of sort of corners even for England. So I think maybe like Rodgers is one of those managers. He's just a very good manager, and I think he sort of noticed that, and he's noted that. So I think he's maybe allowed Chilwell to take some more of our set pieces as a result, and he's noticed that he's a very good set piece taker as well. And obviously he's left-footed and Maddison's right, so you've got the variety there as well.
Yeah, it might well have been something that because at the weekend at Brighton they've got real units, like Burn, Webster, Duffy, obviously with Dunk suspension. It could well be that Leicester have worked on some alternatives specific for that, because obviously Maddison fires the ball into an area with pace and it's coming onto people as such, whereas perhaps for some taller defenders, an outswinger where it's going to send people back over their shoulder is possibly a little bit more difficult for those particular type of defenders to defend, whereas Everton probably don't have those sort of defenders at the week. You would think, particularly with say Pickford in goal, who's obviously not the tallest, particularly from the corners, there'd be a lot more focus in terms of Maddison trying to really drop it into that 6-yard box.
Perhaps, yeah. I can still see maybe both. For example, this weekend, like against Everton, I can see both players taking their fair of set piece duties. Yeah.
Is Vardy absolutely essential, Anup? Is there any way you can go without him at the moment?
I think no play in FPL is essential, because something could easily happen to them, and there's other reasons as well. I wouldn't say anybody is essential, but Vardy is as probably the closest to it, and highly desirable, I would say. Yeah, and yeah, you got to get him. Can
I follow that up and say in the next 4 fixtures, which just as a reminder, obviously Everton at home the weekend on Sunday, Watford at home, Villa away, Norwich at home. As it would stand right now, Anup, how many of those 4 games are you captaining Jamie Vardy in?
Okay, so I'm probably going to captain him this weekend if and I know it sounds a bit not nice, but if Silva's still in charge, I'll probably captain Vardy.
Mate.
I'll probably captain him then. Yeah, he's probably going to captain him as well, I reckon. And then you said sorry next, and then the game after is home to Watford, isn't it?
Oh no, Watford. Sorry, you're right.
Watford, yeah. Well, that's the thing, because Watford again, they put on a run of quite a few clean sheets. So let's see closer to the time anyway. Obviously, except for last week where they got beat 3-0. Villa away, probably not. I don't think I'm going to captain him then. And Norwich at home, yeah, I reckon I would do. Yeah.
I think Suj thinks that Norwich fixture. You might think again differently a little bit now, because on the main pod we spoke about little things that Norwich did at the weekend. But you've got your eyes on that Vardy Norwich game as the potential TC job, haven't you?
No, not necessarily.
No?
I just think set and forget for him for the next 4 weeks for Vardy is what I'm looking at. I don't have any other real big hitters like Mane or Sterling or Salah. My next most expensive player alongside Vardy is actually Kevin De Bruyne at the moment. So I'm not thinking about moving away from Vardy for the next
easier
4.
For you. Sean, yeah, are you going to ask him the same question?
Yeah, what is Sebastian Haller still doing in your team? I don't even know what he's doing on the pitch in my real football team. That guy's got to go, man.
I was going to sell him at the weekend, and then I remembered, so I had a little look at West Ham's form against Spurs, and it's your cup final, Suge, isn't it? So.
Nope.
I can send him a check.
Good luck in yours next Wednesday. Remind me to get Manchild to make a micro of this when Liverpool fucking tear you a new one.
Oh, he's bet. That wasn't difficult, Suge, was it?
Nah.
Sean, dare I ask, who's your captain this coming game week as it would stand now?
Sebastian Haller.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, Mane.
You'll go Mane. See, I've got Mane, Vardy as well, and at the time of recording, I think I'll be on Mane as well, interestingly. I'm not ruling you out, Sean. Is there anything, Sean, just out of interest, because I spoke about this a little bit on the pods earlier in the week. 6th most shots on goal, I believe. 2nd best for shots faced. So there is a kind of growing sense that statistically that Everton are being a bit of a statistic buster for the wrong reasons so far this season. Is there anything in that? Because I feel like your frustration from our interactions on Twitter have been very much about the style of play as much as the results.
Yeah, I think this is one of those things where, you know, they talk about having the eye test for FPL. We're getting shots in, but they're really low. They're low quality shots. That, you know, you can have a shot on target, but if it's along the floor, right at the middle of the goal, straight to the goalkeeper, you're not going to score many of them, are you? And sadly, that's where most of the shots were against Norwich. So there was lots of them, but they were all crap. And in terms of conceding, yet we don't give many chances away, but when we do, they are high quality chances, which means they invariably end up in the back of the net. So the stats don't really tell the full story. The injuries are taking a toll. The our midfield of Tom Davis, Schneidlin and Gylfi Sigurdsson's just gonna get torn apart by anybody that we play.
What's happening with Siggy, mate?
I don't know. He just looks a shell of a player that he was last season. It's not just him. Michael Keane's another one. I don't know. Yeah, it seems to me that not having. I think it's not Zuma and Garner not being in the team have just made a massive effect on Sigurdsson and Keane. Keane looks like the Michael Keane from the first season, where he was shocking. Not the Michael Keane of last season. And Gylfi just looks lost. But he seems to be hiding as well. He normally works really hard, Gylfi Sigurdsson, but against Norwich, he wasn't showing for the ball. Just really poor.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, obviously I had experiences watching Siggy. I was very disappointed really when he understood, but I was disappointed when he left for Swansea. I think the one thing that always held him back at Spurs a little bit was he never really got the run in the 10 position. He kind of looked better in wide positions where he could see the game a little bit more, but then in that position his lack of pace obviously really hindered him. But if you've got runners in front, it's a little bit like, I'm not meaning to compare the two players, but if you've got out and out pace from wide areas in front of Ozil, like, as much as we take the piss out of him, he's someone who can find a pass. And Sigurdsson's certainly that sort of player as well. I mean, in this very fixture last season, he scored one of the goals of the season. There's no doubt in the actual ability that he has. Do you give yourself, I mean, Sigurdsson and Richarlison scored in a 2-1 win for Everton around about this time last year, and obviously it's very different circumstances now. Do you give yourself any chance at the weekend, Sean? Not much, but a lot depends on whether he's got to put Iwobi back in the team. We are a much better team with Iwobi in it and at number 10, because there's just such a big difference between Iwobi in the 10 and Sigurdsson in the 10. So I think if Iwobi comes back in, which he should do, because Gylfi just stunk the place out on Saturday, and then with Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front, then we might be able to give Leicester the game.
What's your genuine prediction for the weekend, or unbiased prediction rather than genuine?
Unbiased.
Try and be as neutral as you can.
I'd say 3-1 Leicester.
What are you thinking, Anup? What would you be happy with? Are you going to the game?
No, but I'm going to the Watford one, which is a few days later.
Yeah, midweek.
My predictions for that one is 3-0 Leicester.
3-0. So both thinking Leicester are going to score at least 3 goals.
That is confident.
And Yeah.
I can't blame him at the moment. I don't think any of us can.
You guys are just. I may as well tattoo the armband on Jamie Vardy rather than just give him one elastic one because
No, I'm not convinced. I'm with Sean actually. At this stage, I think I may go Mane. I might well change my mind by the time the final plan comes around. I actually think. I certainly, obviously, think Leicester will win at the moment, but I don't see it being particularly high scoring. I would think quite a simple 2-0 win.
Yeah, I can see that. Fair enough.
Yeah, I was going to say the same as James. I think 2-0, similar to the Brighton victory for you, Anup, there.
I don't see any circumstance at the moment, as bad as Everton have been, I don't see any circumstance where they're getting battered.
No.
Fair enough, yeah.
Having said that, the Watford game midweek afterwards, and it could be a Southampton Mark II, maybe, if you're really up for it that day.
No, I can't see that. I'll be honest. No, I'm not sure because like even in FPL, I've
Burnley.
Yeah, but prior to that, what was it? They kept about it was like the most clean sheets. It was yeah. So I mean, yeah, that's what I brought in a Watford defender as well. Although he was he was out of this game week just gone. But so yeah, I can't see a drubbing against Watford. Maybe a similar 2-3-0.
Just ticking along
2-0.
There we go. There we go, guys. Thank you for joining us on Clash of the Correspondents this week. It's a really interesting week for both clubs in very differing ways. It's interesting the number of managers that are linked with Everton are going to be linked with West Ham as well. It's going to be very similar. The one thing that we do, which is ridiculous, I think Pellegrini's the third highest paid manager in the Premier League at the moment. We're never scared to throw
Why don't you just
tons
swap?
of money.
You love Marco Silva. Why don't you just swap?
I actually have a weird, strange soft spot for Marco Silva.
Yeah, Sean swearing is allowed.
I need to go into a dark room and think about it. Why? But I think just what he did with Hull when they were in the Premier League was really gave
Got
them
them relegated.
He gave them a fighting chance though, didn't he? When he came in, they were
yes.
screwed, mate. They were screwed. He has patches. Last 10 games of last season, you had that period where you were keeping clean sheets at home. So he's a bit of a streaky manager. I wouldn't take him at West Ham. Having said that, there's better options that are available and not working right now. But
I'll tell you what, I did want to ask Sean before we finish.
Do it.
Sean, just a couple of words on Marcel Brands, if you can, and tell the listeners who he is for people who might not know.
So he's the director of football that we brought in season before last. In a couple of words, you know, it's got to be that the jury's out. I do think he's made some really good signings, but then there's, you know, spoke about Zuma. I spoke about, you know, obviously Garner going, Gabaman come in. He unfortunately got injured, so we don't know how good he is yet. But he signed Delph, and to me, I don't quite get signing a player for squad cover that's got a poor injury record.
Is it just him in sole decision making of the buying of players then?
Well, no one really knows for sure, but obviously the idea is that him and Marco work together on their targets. But you know, you hear all sorts of rumours about Brands had other central defenders that we could have signed, but Marco Silva was convinced that we could get Zuma, and then by the time he realised we weren't going to get him, which was essentially transfer deadline day, it was too late to go and get somebody else. How much truth is in that? I don't know, but I think Brands has coming in for more and more stick from Evertonians. But it was always going to take time. It's always going to take several transfer windows because we've got to get rid of the likes of Schneiderlin, Nias, Walcott, Tosin. And they're hard to move out because they're on. There is a hell of a lot.
There was obviously Gay was going to be really difficult to replace. I have some sympathy with the fact that Gabamin and obviously now Gomez is injured. I think there was a massive error in the football club in terms of, I think there was a little bit of an assumption that Zuma wasn't going to be first choice at Chelsea, and if they waited, they'd get it happen. They'd get it done.
Yeah.
And then obviously David Luiz went, and it was like, what's going on here? There was no contingency to fix the problem. I think that's a massive failing behind the scenes at Everton. I think there's been errors, certainly a scattergun approach for a long time in terms of transfers that don't make sense. and I think it's kind of coming to a head. It's a really big period in Everton's history with the new stadium coming up, etc. There are parallels with Spurs in terms of size of club, what it wants to be, but at the moment it's a way away. I think Sean hit the nail on the head earlier when he said what Pochettino did to try and get us there and established has set a level now that we can, whether you agree or disagree with the appointment of Mourinho, it's set a precedent, whereas Everton wouldn't be able to go for that person if they thought it was right. Benitez, though, that kind of character, I think that slight level below is available. I think personally, it's just an honest opinion, Sean, I would put the money out there for Sean Dyche, mate. I think he'd be terrific for you.
Yeah, I kind of wanted Sean Dyche before we went for Silva. If we weren't going to go for someone like Benitez, because I personally wanted him for about the last 4 years, through the last 3 managerial changes that we've made. Certainly I would rather we go for Sean Dyche than say Eddie Howe, and definitely David Moyes.
I think Sean Dyche would fit in better with what Evertonians expect from their football team. Failing that, Brendan Rodgers could also be a good choice, I know.
No way. He's
Any fear, mate? Just to close on that, any fear about sort of Arsenal asking or anything like that?
No. In an answer, because in a word for the answer, because he was asked about this in an interview. He's such a great guy and he's very humble and everything. And so he was asked about, okay, so what do you think about, you guys are doing really well. Might you be snapped up by a bigger club? He's like, well, I am at a bigger club, which is what I want. I am at a big club, that's what I want to hear. And we won the league a few seasons ago. We're doing very, very well. So I don't see why he would want to. And it's a great project, what he's almost building. I mean, if it was me, I would be really excited, as almost like the talent at my disposal, the young players. He's brought in some great signings like Tielemans, Pratt as well. I hadn't really heard of him before, and he's really embedded himself really well as well. So no, I don't see why he would want to, and he's even said that he doesn't really want to. So it's all good. Yeah,
I reckon there's a good 75% chance that what we've just spoken about in the last 5 minutes is going to be irrelevant on Thursday.
Well, it's definitely irrelevant. I don't know what Anoop's talking about. Brendan Rodgers being humble. What's he talking about?
Nah, he's a great guy.
He said that he's a really nice guy as well. I don't know.
He is. I am a great guy, great manager.
No, in seriousness, I'm a big fan of Rodgers. I'll be very honest. He would have been my first pick for Spurs. I think it's terrific. I think the style of football that you're playing, the young development of players. I think all of us are really, unlike a little bit with the title season, where obviously the majority of the nation wanted you to win, but at times it wasn't enjoyable as such. I think watching this team, we all really enjoy watching you, mate, and it's full credit to the football club at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, yeah, that's true. Thank you. Yeah.
Guys, just a wrap up to say thank you again for all of the articles and contribution on the website and Twitter and what have you, for a lot of the FPL playing community that don't get to watch Leicester as regularly or maybe Everton as regularly. It's really helpful, and we appreciate all of that in helping Planet FPL grow as well. So thank you for all of that. James, do you want to let the listeners know what we have left this week, because it's only one show?
Yeah, final plan tomorrow. I'll probably decide if we are or aren't captaining Jamie Vardy. At the moment, I'm not.
I've got not much choice, so I am.
But then we're pre-recording this Monday, and Sadio Mane might get injured in Champions League. Who knows?
True. So do tune in tomorrow, Friday, for the final plan before game week 14, where James and I will run down our regular FPL teams, North v South, if we think it's even worth it, and maybe make a couple of tweaks on the differential side. Anything else to add, James? No,
much appreciated, Noop, Sean, brilliant, really enjoyed that, thank you.
Nice one.
Cool.
Cheers, boys.
Ciao for now.
Cue music, man, child.
The Fantasy Football Show.